Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and the ministerial delegation are currently in Rome, Italy for a working visit which included a meeting with President of Italy, Sergio Mattarella. The delegation has held discussions with the President of Italy on continued relations between Ethiopia and Italy, among others, current global and regional issues. The bilateral meeting with President Mattarella, the two sides discussed continued relations between Ethiopia and Italy, among other current global and regional issues. Following his discussion with President Mattarella and other Italian government officials, Prime Minister Abiy stated that the long-standing relation between the two nations is defined by fruitful partnership. Ethiopian and Italian relations spanning over many decades have been long-standing and defined by a fruitful partnership. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia, Demeqe Mekonnen, said that Ethiopians across the nation must build the path of peace, strengthening solidarity of the country that transcended from forefathers and foremothers. He also stated that it's necessary to try to solve the critical difference raised by the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church in a careful and responsible manner. Kasaun Chani has more on this.
The 173rd birthday of King Michael was colorfully celebrated in the Brazil town, Magdala district, South Wollo zone, where the Thorn and district leaders, including Demeqe Mekonnen and the local community, were present. Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs Demeqe Mekonnen, in his message at the ceremony said that Ethiopians must strengthen the unity of the country and build the path to peace. At the DPM and FM noted the issue raised recently in the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church's out of focus, though it is necessary to carefully and responsibly follow and realize the situation that will be resolved under the religious fathers' leadership right there in the church.
አሁን ከኦርቶዶክስ ሃይማኖት ጋራ በተያያዘ የተነሳውን ጉዳይ
The Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church should not be out of focus. It's necessary to fix the issue with the wisdom of the fathers and make it a reality so that the unity of Orthodoxy is preserved and lasting peace and unity continue. For this success, we all need to fix the problem and maintain the strong sovereignty and unity of Ethiopia. It is necessary to continue growing together by helping each other, caring and listening.
በአማኞቹ ጽናት በአባቶች ጥበብና በአባቶች ጸጋ
As he further pointed out that there are still people in various areas who want Ethiopia's journey of prosperity to fail, noting though the government will continue the work it has started to ensure the safety of the citizens by establishing peace. On the occasion, development works and historical places were visited in the Brazil city in South Wollo zone.
የሀገራችን አብሮነት ተጠናክሮ ከተለያዩ የዘር
The government has been undertaking efforts to Ethiopia's journey of prosperity day and night. The government is also working diligently to strengthen the peace agreement that has been initiated and rehabilitate institutions and displaced people affected by the war. Special attention is being paid to strengthening the people-to-people relations in the affected areas.
የምንተማመንበት አገር ግንባታችንን አጠናክረን መቀጠል ይኖርብናል።
Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs Demeke Mekonnen also urged leadership at all levels to actively participate in the social and economic development activities by integrating with the community and strengthening the peace. He further underlined it was necessary to develop historical places and pass them on to future generations and make them tourist destinations.
The referendum that started today in 6 zones and 5 special districts in the southern nations, nationalities and people's regional state has gone very well in the 3,771 polling stations. The referendum has been held in Gamo, Gofa, South Omo, Gedio, Walaita and Konso zones, as well as Darashe, Amaro, Burji, Ale and Basketo special districts. Our staff reporter Shagao Yamatao has more from Arba Minch.
Voting has proceeded fairly peacefully here in Arba Minch town of Gamo zone. In all of the polling stations I visited, the situation remained calm and peaceful and without major incidents. Approached by ETV, observers and poll watchers expressed that the voting has underway in a democratic manner. About 73,000 residents of the town have registered across 100 polling stations. In Gamo zone, about 800 polling stations were ready and above 650,000 voters voted for the referendum. Shagao Yamato reporting for ETV, Arba Minch town.
In a related development, Chairperson of the National Electoral Board of Ethiopia has given a press briefing this evening, and our staff reporter Shagao Yamato is in Arba Minch. Good evening, Shagao.
Good evening, Guru.
We are informed that the Chairperson of the National Electoral Board of Ethiopia has given a press briefing this evening, and what can you tell us more about the press briefing? What was the major point raised by the Chairperson?
Okay, thank you, Guru. As you have already mentioned, Chairperson of the National Electoral Board of Ethiopia, Burtukan Mideksa, gave press briefing regarding the referendum held in South Nations, nationalities and people's region. As we know, the new region to be formed or not to be formed recently is expected in 6 zones and 5 special districts today. According to her, 3,371 polling stations are prepared in all of the zones and the special districts, and mostly it has been carried out peacefully. However, there are some challenges, we can say, in most of polling stations. In all zones, we can say there are some problems related to some voters were voting without their age limit, and also in some polling stations there were also a facility shortage. However, due to the court's immediate response, despite the delays happening in some polling stations, it has been successfully carried out, and according to her, before just 6 a.m., most of the polling stations have completed the voting process. However, in some polling stations, voting was continued due to some reasons. But generally, she said mostly it has been carried out peacefully and in a democratic manner, despite some challenges. Within 5 days, she said, the results will be announced, and later, in general, it will be notified. That is all about the press briefing today.
Thank you, Shagao.
Okay, thank you very much.
That was Shagao Yamatao from Arba Minch.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Teta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and World Remit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Burr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
Years ago, horse riders in the Awi zone of the state of Amhara established the Sabatbet Agao Equestrian Association. Today, more than 60,000 horse riders are members of the association. By the end of January, the association annually conducts a horse riding parade and show in Enjibara town. The Sabatbet Agao Horse Riders Equestrian Association was established by people of the local who were fighting the Italian invasion.
Yawi Mahaver Maletna. Yawi Hizb Mahaver Maletna.
The annual horse riding festival is probably the largest horse riding festival on the planet. Horse is an integral part of the Agao life. The Agao used their horses for transport, for weddings, and the horse race as well. It was during the brutal invasion of the fascist Italy that the Agao on their horsebacks repulsed the enemy's aggression. The Agao Horse Racing Festival is celebrated colorfully in Enjibara, seat of the Awi Agao administrative zone of the state.
አንደኛ ይወጡ ነበር አባት እሺ
እና ከጃለኝ እሱን አይቼ እኔም መልመድ ፈልጌ አልምዴ ስለው አልመደኝ
የፈረስ ስም ማን ነው ሻንቆ ነው ይባላል እንዴት ነው ጉልበቱ ጎበዝ ነው
አዎ ምንም አይደለም
ተለማምደሻል ለዚህ ዝግጅት ስንተኛ ትወጫለሽ
አንደኛ እወጣለሁ ብዬ ሞክራለሁ
Welcome back, and you are watching ETV News. A major earthquake of magnitude 7.8 and its powerful aftershocks have killed nearly 1,600 people and injured thousands in southeastern Turkey and northwestern Syria as buildings collapsed across the region, triggering searches for survivors in the rubble. Authorities have declared a level 4 alarm that calls for international assistance. A second earthquake of magnitude 7.6 followed a few hours later amid several aftershocks. Broadcasters TRT and Haberturk showed images of people gathered around destroyed buildings in the town of Kahramanmaraş, looking for survivors. Other images showed people taking shelter in their cars on the side of snow-covered roads. The Ethiopian government has extended its heartfelt condolences and solidarity with Turkey over the devastating earthquake. The African region, which was labeled as the Dark Continent by the European colonizers, was the main source of the slave trade and raw materials for the industries that flourished during the Industrial Revolution in Europe and the expansion of cotton farms in the USA. Following that history, Tedros Zodou, a researcher residing in Canada, underscored that the conduct of the assembly itself demonstrates an unflinching solidarity and friendship and is pivotal to drawing a lesson from the history of Ethiopia.
Ethiopia hosting this event, the political statement is that the history of Ethiopia can be looked at as a lesson for the event, because Ethiopians resisted at the Battle of Adwa the occupation of Europeans, and then Ethiopia becoming hosting this event speaks from that angle. It speaks about freedom. It speaks about dignity. What's missing in Africa is dignity. Africans are not being respected by other nations. The Berlin Conference in 1884 took place 1884 to 1885. The essence of that conference was to divide Africa among Europeans, and so Africans, they come together. The African Union, the essence of African Union should always be to protect Africans from foreigners.
The scholar also stated that hosting the AU meeting indicates a unique opportunity for Ethiopia to effectively show its message of political statement on human dignity and freedom.
The event, this AU event, to me is a statement to the world. We exist as a human being. Trump, that was yesterday, he called the continent a shithole. So this is yesterday's experience. And then we have to put a stop to that by declaring ourselves, by showing to the world our integration, our familyhood, our togetherness. And then I think that the event, to me, should always be looked at from that angle.
Ethiopian Airlines' ongoing expansion and existing service was underscored during the Canada-Africa reception held in Cape Town over the weekend. Hosted by the Canada-Africa Chamber of Business, Chamber President Gareth Bloor thanked the airline for its vital role in Canada-Africa trade and investment. According to Times Aerospace, the pan-sectoral event over the weekend welcomed Canadian trade commissioners, Canadian and African business representatives, as well as members of the press. Commissioner of the Ethiopian Investment Commission, Lalise Name, has met with newly appointed country manager of the International Finance Corporation, IFC, for Ethiopia, Malawi, and Zambia, Madalo Minofo. IEC Commissioner Lalise Name also held discussion with IFC country manager and senior operations officers. According to Ethiopian Investment Commission, during the meeting, Commissioner Lalise Name appreciated IFC's investment in support to Ethiopia. Commissioner Lalise requested the continuation of IFC support to the Commission, investment policy and promotion, aftercare, human and institutional capacity building, IEC stated. IFC country manager, on her part, reassured the corporation's commitment to further strengthen the partnership with Ethiopia.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Teta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and World Remit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Burr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
I love the patterns. One of these. You can see the outside of the mosque here. Nearly 50,000 people call the Casbah home, and it's been inhabited since the 2nd century AD. It's all a UNESCO World Heritage Site too. Walking through and suddenly seeing all these views of the Mediterranean and the city in the distance. Many cities around Algeria have their own Casbahs, including Gardea, which I'll be visiting later on in the trip, but here, the biggest one you'll find in Algiers.
And finally, UNESCO has settled a long-standing jollof rice dispute involving Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, and Cameroon after declaring Senegal king of the famous West African delicacy in January this year. Daniel Kasa.